Welcome to the Local Roads Improvement Program and the enhanced LRIP Web application. In this introductory video, we will walk through how to access LRIP Web through the new web-based Transportation Assistance System known as TAS, and how to navigate within LRIP Web using the tools and screens available to you, including the View My Work Queue function. Once you know your way around LRIP Web, you can submit your project applications and reimbursement requests to WSDOT and access your pending tasks at any time via your work queue. Let's start by going over how to access LRIP Web. If you are a current LRIP Web user, you will notice a change in the login process. Users will now log in to LRIP Web via the Transportation Assistance System, or TAS. TAS provides authorized local government officials access to data pertaining to their transportation aids and improvement program funding distributed by WSDOT. Instead of using your current WAMS account ID and password to log in, you will create a new login profile through TAS. To begin, access the TAS login screen by using the Launch TAS button provided on the LRIP web page, or enter tas.wisconsindot.gov into your internet browser. Use the Need to Register button to access the user self-registration screens. Under the first screen, enter your name, phone number, and your email address. Keep in mind that you will use your email address when logging into TAS, and that the email address you provide can only be used to register one person. Each user must provide a unique email address to request LRIP Web access. Continue to follow the user's self-registration screens to enter your community information. After you submit your registration request to WSDOT, please allow 2 business days to process. When authorized, you will receive an email confirmation with the instructions on how to create a password and log in to TAS. Some local government officials may already be registered under an existing email address. If this is the case, you will be prompted during the self-registration process to return to the TAS login screen and select the Reset Password button to create a password. Simply enter your email address and click the Request Reset Password button to receive an email with a link to establish your password. Passwords must be 8 to 20 characters in length and include a combination of at least 3 of the following character types: uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, or special characters such as the number sign, exclamation point, or $sign. Passwords will remain active for 366 days before you are prompted to change your password. However, if you forget your password or simply want to change it, use the Reset Password button to create a new one at any time. To access LRIP Web, log into TAS by entering your email address followed by the password you created. For most LRIP Web users, the My Local Program screen is the landing page after logging in to TAS. This screen identifies the funding that your community or county received under WSDOT's aids and improvement programs, including the paid and schedule amounts per program. The statewide summary screen shows the same funding information at the statewide level. In addition, the My GTA Notifications screen allows local government officials access to download, view, and save their GTA calculation and payment letters. More information about how to navigate within TAS will be provided in a future video specifically about the system. So, for now, let's continue our overview of the LRIP Web application. After logging into TAS, select the Launch LRIP Web Application button to open the LRIP Web homepage under a new tab. Having separate tabs will allow you to have TAS and LRIP Web open at the same time, or you can close out of one or both of the tabs as needed. The LRIP Web homepage is the main screen to access all LRIP Web functions. However, as you can see, not all functions are available at all times. Some buttons are grayed out and are only available for specific time periods. or they may be inaccessible depending on the type of LRIP web access you receive. For example, the Apply for Project button is only available at the start of a new biennium program cycle, and the Review TRID/MISID applications function is only available to Town Road Improvement Discretionary Program and Municipal Street Improvement Discretionary Program committee members. Other functions are available at any time and allow you to perform specific tasks as needed over the lifespan of a project. In this video, we will focus on how to navigate within LRIP Web using the tools available to you. The project applications and reimbursement requests that you submit in LRIP Web use a step-by-step tab feature to navigate from one step to another by moving down the screen. Each tab is labeled to identify the type of information required under each step, and the color and status will help you determine where you are in the request process. A blue color tab indicates that a step is ready for you to access and enter your information. After the required fields are filled in and saved, the tab will turn green to indicate the step has been completed. Finally, gray colored tabs identify steps that come later and are not yet available to access. In addition, each tab has an expand/collapse button for you to open and close a step as needed. Clicking anywhere on a colored tab will function the same way. This feature will allow you to easily revisit a step when needed, or you can minimize information to get a quick overview of the remaining steps. To fill in the required information under each step, use the fields provided to either select an option from a drop-down list, check a radio button or box, or simply enter a dollar amount. Some fields, like the project-related comments field, are optional for you to use as needed. This field is available under most steps and can be used to enter project-related comments or as a means of correspondence between you and your CHC or LRIP program staff. Keep in mind that all entries will be included as public record. To complete each step, use the Save and Next button to save the information you entered and continue to the next tab. When you reach the last step in the request process and you are asked to read and acknowledge the terms and conditions, and also to certify that you are authorized to conduct business on behalf of your community or county, you will notice that your name, title, and the current date are pre-filled for you. This pre-filled information serves as an electronic signature and agreement between your community or county and WSDOT. When you are ready to submit your request, use the Submit button provided under this step. So far, we've highlighted the tab feature of a request, how electronic signatures are captured, and the required and optional fields used to fill in a request. We also pointed out the buttons you will use to navigate through the request process, but you may have noticed that there are other buttons available as well. The top right corner of a request is the main area where you can access information outside of the step-by-step tab feature by using the buttons provided. Depending on the status of a request, the buttons available may include the View Project Log, View Comments, View Attachments, and Delete Request options. To better understand your choices, let's review each button, starting with the View Comments. As we covered earlier, you will have the option to enter comments in the project-related comments field under one or more steps of a request. After your comments are saved under a particular step, they are removed from the comments field and moved under the View Comments button for you to view at any time. The comments log provides a complete and chronological list of all comments for the project and allows you to quickly access them under a single location. The View Project Log button provides a similar type of list. This log is a record of specific request statuses, such as when a request was created and when it was submitted to your County Highway Commissioner. It also identifies the user who initiated each status. The View Attachments button gives you access to all current attachments that have been uploaded for a project, such as the location map or improvement plan. This option may be especially helpful when you want to view an attachment without having to tab within the request itself. And finally, once a project or reimbursement request is started and it has moved beyond step 1 in the process, you can use the Delete Request button to remove it. This may be necessary if you want to delete a request that you created for testing purposes, or if a request is no longer needed. Moving to the bottom of the screen, the Save and Send Back button is another example of a button that can be accessed anytime. This button will typically be used by a county highway commissioner and LRIP program staff to return a request to a local government for revisions, or to address any issues identified during their review process. We've covered using the Submit button to send a completed request and how to send a submitted request back using the Save and Send Back button. However, there may be times when you are in the middle of filling in a request and you must stop and return to the request at a later time. In this case, use the Save and Exit button provided under each step to save the information you entered so far and exit the request. These actions serve different purposes, but they all have one thing in common. They all involve the View My Work Queue function. Whether you submit a request, send one back, or save a request until later, all rely on the View My Work Queue function to handle the interactions between you and other LRIP web users, as well as to provide a place for accessing your pending tasks. In fact, besides being a portal for receiving requests between various parties, the main purpose of the View My Work Queue function is to provide you easy access to your project or reimbursement requests that are awaiting further action. Let's take a closer look. Your work queue is associated with your LRIP web role and the community or county assigned to you. For this reason, the type of requests and the number of requests listed in your work queue will vary depending on your role and the projects you manage or review. However, by default, all work queue items are listed in numerical order by request number. To access a request, simply click on the appropriate request number link. Or if you have several items in your work queue and you are unsure of the correct request number, use the search field provided to enter another known value. For example, you can search by a project's en route name to quickly retrieve the appropriate request. Another way to locate a specific request is to sort and group the list of requests in your work queue using one or more of the columns provided. Use the up and down arrows located next to each column header to view the list of items either alphabetically or numerically per column. Use the status column to identify whether an item in your work queue is in progress or whether it was submitted or returned to you for follow-up. Sorting your work queue in this way will help you determine which tasks are a higher priority and remind you of your outstanding tasks. For example, as we mentioned earlier, there will be times when you are in the middle of the request process and you must exit the request you've started and save it for later. Or a pending request may occur if your online session times out after 30 minutes of inactivity and before you are able to complete the request. In either case, the information you entered and saved before exiting the request is maintained, and you would access your work queue at a future time to locate your pending request and pick up where you left off in the process. After a pending request is completed, it is automatically removed from your work queue and either submitted or returned to another party's work queue for further action. As part of this exchange, LRIP Web will send an email notification to inform users when they have a new pending item in their work queue. As you can tell, the View My Work Queue function will be your go-to place in LRIP Web for many of your tasks. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. Visit the LRIP webpage for new LRIP Web videos coming soon, such as the Search Applications/Projects video that will show you how to view your project information in LRIP Web at any time.